Sure.
Now, let's get into the Champions League quarter-final review. Jam, take it away. What happened, man?
So obviously, as you can see, on the left and the right of me, I've got two people that were trying to do,
like I would do something right now.
Trying to do a little hate watch against me. Sure. But the Arsenal were victorious, yeah?
Well, you know what? I'm going to shake your hand.
Thank you.
Because I'll be honest with you, many people wrote Arsenal off. I was one of them. Shubs over there was one of them. And you came here and said you were going to win. And I
but he wasn't really...
I did laugh in his face.
He wasn't really
backing it like that. But real with you,
it was more like, it's my team.
I got to back him.
But it wasn't really...
I backed my team and I said
I shook his hand, you know why?
Because
Because his team won. His team beat the favourites of the tie.
Arsenal.
Yeah, you
put your hands up. I'll put my hands up temporarily.
I'll
put my hands up fully. Let me say something. I'll put my hands up temporarily because I know what's coming. I see what's coming.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, Bellingham, whoever, you failed me this occasion, but I know in the next round, I'll come with my PSG shirt next time. They're better.
Anyway, man, talk your stuff.
Listen, last week, they was talking to us. This guy on the right of me saying, the game can only go two ways. The fixture over the two legs can only go two ways. They said Arsenal get popped one way or Arsenal get popped another. He had no mention of Arsenal getting over Madrid.
I had no hope for you guys.
Had no hope for us. Gave us no respect. And neither did Madrid, to be fair. They gave us no respect. But that's what happens when you play with no respect against Arsenal. You get bopped.
I don't think Real Madrid did respect themselves, to be honest.
Nah,
they were quite shocking.
That's good. I like
they were quite shocking in both legs.
Yeah.
They were quite shocking in both legs.
Have we spoken about the first leg?
No, we haven't.
Now, let's talk about the first leg. We could talk about it as a culmination of everything.
Yes.
If you want to separate both legs, but we could do.
Okay.
But
let me I'll say one thing, and one thing for certain, yeah? I just want to apologise to everybody out there. Obviously, before the first leg did start, I did give out a spoiler. I do apologise. I said that Declan Rice was going to come and dominate the field. He was going to be the best midfielder on the pitch. And he went and scored one of the best free kicks in Champions League history, and then he went on to have
the mad thing is, it's not even crazy to say.
It's
a fact. Yeah. And then he went on in the second leg to be the best player on the pitch by far and by wide. Absolutely just
clean everything.
He bossed the game.
Cleaning everything up. So many game-changing interceptions that he made. The guy's the truth, man. 100 million, we could have paid more.
But what about Arteta and how he set his team out and the trust he put in his players to rise to an occasion where they're not used to, and he's obviously come into a team 4 or 5 years ago at dire states, and now he's taken his Arsenal to Santiago Bernabeu, winning 2-1, beating them 3-0 at the Emirates.
5-1 over
he's come so far, and what do you think about that? Because Arteta, absolutely brilliant job. I think more credit needs to be given. Obviously,
as you said, Arsenal have come leaps and bounds since Arteta's first come in. And this was our biggest challenge yet. A lot of people said that we wouldn't live up to the occasion, but Arteta has set us up in a way, especially when our team is in a very, shaky state. We're far from 100%. Saka's only just come back from an injury. Gabriel's out. We've got Kivior in. We don't have a striker. We're playing with a midfielder up top. Arteta's come in and just set us up perfectly. I feel like Arsenal are best suited to these type of games. I feel like open games, Arsenal are much better in. When teams want to come out against us and play football against us, that's when we can show our qualities. I think off the ball, Arteta has coached us brilliantly. He literally coached both the games. He coached the win in both the games. We pushed Real Madrid out wide. We did not let them come through the middle once. You lot were saying they need to play through the middle more. No, they didn't allow them to. They didn't allow them to.
We'll get onto Ancelotti in a bit.
There's pros and cons from both managers, from both sides. But that 4-4-2 when we're defending,
it's just so hard to break down.
The fluid 4-4, it's so difficult to break down.
Oh my God.
We leave no gaps in midfield. You can't pass them through you need a player that's going to make crazy line breakers to get through it. And they didn't have the quality on the pitch to do so over the two legs. Forced them out wide. Timber, Miles Lewis, Skelly, bro. These guys.
Bukayo Saka, in my opinion, is if it hasn't been confirmed already, is now a certified superstar. Because he missed a penalty, but going out to perform in the way he did afterwards in an event that happened so early, the penalty just shows so much about him. Resilience.
Can we talk about that?
Quality, IQ. He does so many things at such a high level, and he is one of the best players in the world. It's a simple fact because he's Arsenal's best player, and Arsenal are now one of the last 4 teams in the Champions League. So to call Saka one of the best players in the world is not a stretch. For me personally, I know he's an Arsenal player, but he's one of my favourite players. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And he was injured for 3-4 months. He's rusty. Everyone's thinking, what's going to happen? Is Saka going to be fit? Is he going to be the same player?
They're saying he's going to take a while to adjust. He's not going to be...
And he literally bossed it. basically it was a massive part in our Arsenal in the semi-final, and I just think Saka, you are top, mate. And I always get on to him a lot when he missed a pen.
Yeah,
so I think he rises to the occasion.
So,
why is he shooting there? Why is he thinking like that? Why is he putting it to the side? I thought if he's gonna think it in the middle.
Think in the middle.
Or if you're gonna pick a side, you gotta smash it. Think solely work in the middle.
Yeah.
But no, to go out and perform like he did afterwards. Well done, Bukayo, man. Well done.
Yeah, Bukayo, top player, man. And the thing is, he didn't really do anything special, I would say, but he's just very.
So
you know what I mean?
He does what
it's like he gets to a level and he stays top.
He's so efficient.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like a story in both ties. He just rose and rose and rose, and then he didn't deplete once in the game. Didn't go missing. Took the game by scruff of the neck. Played well the entire time.
I think.
What a player!
For 90% of the time, Saka will always make the right decision. I
wow.
rarely see him make
that
the
is.
wrong decision.
Yeah.
Obviously, the penalty, one of them being the wrong decision.
Yeah,
but
that's one of the red
in
times.
terms of when he's on the ball, what he does, like he doesn't like Saka will never be flashy. He'll never be that type of player that will catch you by the eye or whatnot. But everything that he does is efficient. He gets it. Like his purpose as a winger is to make things work for his team.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for him as an individual. Do you know what I mean?
But I would say it's also good to watch.
No,
I would classify him as good to watch.
There's a difference between good to watch and a flashy player. I don't think he's a flashy player though.
No, I wouldn't call him a flashy player.
I don't think it's a flashy
which is
player.
not like a bad thing because
No.
he's still able to reach a status.
The heights of football that he is.
Yeah, without being a flashy player. And he's just very good. I think that's how it is. Simple as that.
He showed Vinny and Rodrygo out today.
Showed them
and
work,
Mbappe. All of them.
And doing all that offensive work while still doing his defensive
work,
duties,
yeah, helping out Timber on that
still
side.
helping out, bro.
Yeah.
I think this tie I wanted to say was a classic case of like the quality of managers. Like if you look at Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti, he's got everything at his disposal. A very good midfield, maybe a bit of a shaky defense, but a quality midfield and a quality attack. Versus an Arteta team who maybe defense is a bit stronger, but not as good midfield, not as good in attack. But the way that they were coached was completely on two different ends of the scale.
Yeah.
One guy coached his team out to be good in transition, to defend compactly and narrowly and cover the gaps. Mourinho always said it. No matter what your tactics are, Mourinho said, no matter what they are, you have to defend compact. Always when you're off the ball, defend compact. 4-4-2 compact, no gaps, close everything up. So they were good on a counter-attack. They were good in defense. They passed the ball well. They moved it quickly. They attacked well. Versus a team who, Ancelotti, it's like he just trusts his players way too much. It's like, go out there and do what you can. But when you're against a team who defends so compactly, and defend well out wide as well, Vinicius and Mbappe, these guys, they're not going to affect the game if you don't help them as a manager, if you don't give them instructions as a manager, if you don't spot the game from the experience you've had 30 plus years as a manager. You can't just expect your best players to perform every single time.
Turn up when they need
to, because every single game state is different. This might work against Liverpool and against Atletico Madrid because it's a common opponent. Also, not really a common opponent. These guys have come up against something that they haven't really seen before. For as good as they are, you have to acknowledge that you need to build up patterns. You need to be able to attack in different ways, not just trust Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrygo. And look what happened.
They create moments.
Real Madrid literally got destroyed.
Got cooked, man.
I mean, Ancelotti, he's been regressing over the years. Even during the times when they won the Champions League, it was pure quality. Obviously, people are going to say, Ancelotti is like a manager that lets his players do whatever. Like he trusts his players to make, like he gives them freedom essentially. And through that, they've managed to win countless Champions Leagues. And I thought, how many has he won now for Real Madrid? Probably like 2 or 3?
It's 3 or 4.
3 or 4. So he done that with the same method. But you can see this team right now, they don't have that one player you can look to and be like, okay, this player can turn it around. Where they had Benzema, who done it for 2 out of 3 Champions League.
I feel like they do.
They don't.
They should do.
They don't. But Mbappe for me, he would be that player if he was playing on the left. I don't think Mbappe as a striker is that player where he can be like,
I agree.
Where he can have that sort of influence.
Yeah.
And you've seen it in the game, watching the game, coming deep, he's trying to go out wide and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can tell he's not an out and out number 9. And especially when he's being grouped against players like Saliba and
exactly.
What's his name? The other side.
And Rice and Partey.
It's like 4 players against 1.
And that's what I was pointing out in the game. It's like he's on the D of the box, on the edge in the final third, zone 14 they call it.
Yeah.
And he's literally, it's like he's getting marked by 4 players around him.
Yeah.
And Mbappe needs a certain game state where He needs space on the edge of the
He
box.
needs place to run off him.
behind him.
He needs
Oh,
place
yeah.
close to him.
Close to him, in close.
So he can play with.
Yeah, but Rodrygo's so far out wide, really so far out wide. Bellingham's not really busting the gut to get in there.
What is that about?
So I don't know, man. Yeah,
And that all comes down to the manager. And
comes
I've
down to
seen a lot
coaching.
of people trying to excuse it and trying to blame the players. I think the players have
a certain degree.
a certain degree of blame towards it.
Yeah.
But in terms of the combination between the manager not really having a
say in the tactics, really.
a clear way of playing.
Yeah.
You can't just, you know what I mean, vibe your way to a win.
I think the way it works with Ancelotti is like, cool, if Real Madrid do well, they say, oh yeah, he let them have their freedom, good
That's
manager,
how they play, that's
well, that's
tactics.
how they play,
Yeah,
he knows
yeah.
what he's doing. But obviously when they lose in games like this, that's when it comes and bites.
And
them
when
at
they're
the
against a
bottom,
team,
and you realise-
when against such a well-oiled machine, a team that is literally coached in so many different
Arsenal
ways.
fan now, innit?
Huh?
Like
Been
an
together.
Arsenal
Bro,
fan.
I was impressed. And I don't ever gas Arsenal up, but I know if I don't, then they're going to get on to me. You know what I mean? So it's just, you have to say what you see in it.
It's a team that's been
I've
good for years
facts,
now.
facts.
though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and you can see that.
Exactly, yeah.
And we're still far from 100%. Well, not far from 100%, but the current
It's
squad
still,
now
you can get better, really.
can definitely get
Yeah,
better.
because I think as good as Arsenal were, I wouldn't say that's them at their best.
It's not final four.
I'm looking at it more being Real Madrid just weren't
Were
great.
very poor.
Yeah, and
Very poor.
I think with the way Real Madrid played, I would have hoped and expected Arsenal to pick
take
them
full
up.
advantage.
Yeah, to take advantage of this game and this two-legged tie. But going back, we were thinking about this tie and thinking, yo, this is probably one of the worst games Arsenal would have wanted. Even you were thinking, yo, this is.
Of course, I was scared.
Yeah,
You see
yeah,
what to be
Real
scared.
Madrid with
15 UCLs, bro.
15
You got zero.
UCLs, the UCL heritage, current Champions League holders, and then same team really that won the Champions League last season. Not really much changed. Same manager, same players.
got
In fact,
Mbappe.
they kind of got stronger
Mbappe.
and getting Mbappe.
Yeah.
But then you look at this team and you think, so there's a lot of changes that need to be made at Real Madrid right
I think Ancelotti,
And
I
it
think
starts with the
I do
manager.
think he's done.
Starts with the
I
manager.
think Florentino Perez and him are gonna have talks.
Yeah.
He'll probably finish the season. They'll give him Copa del Rey final. But yeah, I think this is his last season, and they're gonna move on from him.
Yeah.
I do
For
think so.
sure. But I do want to put my hands up as well. Because obviously, you lot know how I felt about Kivior. Didn't rate him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't rate him at all.
That was a good game today,
I was worried. Gabriel got injured. I was saying, yeah, we might be cooked. Kivior's going to come in against Mbappe. These lot, Put my hands up.
Yeah, he
Put my
was faultless, but at the
Hasn't
same
put
time,
a foot wrong
come on,
over
man.
the two legs, man.
Come on, man.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Well done. Doesn't get much game time at all throughout the season.
Yeah.
And then stepped into the quarterfinals against Real Madrid and
Yeah.
did what he did, bro. Quality.
Fair play.
Congratulations.
But also, he didn't have much
Gone
to
up
deal
in my
with as well,
rankings
to be
now.
fair. Didn't have much to deal with.
Didn't have much to do. Yeah, didn't never have much to do. with
No,
it.
but I still don't want. I don't like when you like. Especially
no,
you are
no.
saying that
Yeah,
it's,
the
it's
game.
about Real Madrid not playing well. I personally truly believe they didn't play well because Arsenal was so good. One, because of how well we coached, and two, because we forced them down the wings and then we locked them up on the wings.
But also,
they also look
If they didn't get lost,
look at their star
weren't
players.
good. But I
Look
feel
at
like
their
they
star
weren't
players.
good because of us.
Not solely.
No, I think
because
it's a
of you guys.
combination.
It's a combination, but you're
Combination.
also saying that Real Madrid weren't good and Arsenal kind of like, oh yeah, you got lucky. Real Madrid
No,
went up to scratch.
no.
I feel like
No,
we
but
made them
if
play
that's
that way.
Real Madrid at their best, we're looking at a much more close tie than we did.
Definitely.
That tie was not close. They
scored.
any wish. They had one good chance over the two legs, and that was the Mbappe chance, and he
Early
missed
on.
it. In when it was 0-0. Over the two legs.
Their only goal from such star players came from a Saliba mistake.
Yeah, that's the only
That
goal
says a lot.
that they've ever scored against Arsenal.
Yeah, so you can just look at
One
it.
goal,
yeah,
Saliba, man. I'm gutted
go.
that.
And I would have expected a lot more from Vinny and Mbappe. And in a build up to this game, the talk behind the Real Madrid players, I was expecting a lot more. But then you look at it, they were dire in their performance. Remontada,
Cut.
Remontada.
Yeah.
That's what Bellingham kept saying in
was
the
that?
pre-game press conference.
Oh, okay.
Kept, you know, all I was hearing in the camp all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to start talking about the players because I'm going to gas everybody, bro. Every single player on that pitch, bar a certain player, he wasn't great, but 10 out of the 11.
Who?
I don't want to talk about.
It wasn't great.
Odegaard wasn't.
Oh yeah. No.
Over the two legs, he's been disappointing.
He wasn't good, he wasn't
He
good.
struggles in transition, and obviously in these type of open games, that's what you need. You need a player that can play well in transitions, especially when he's your
Killer,
attacking
someone who's
midfielder.
the killer
Someone
final
who
ball.
can kill it, yeah, exactly. And he didn't do that, but he played a bit better in the second half. So yeah, well done. But everybody else, bro, like Marino as well, bro.
Brilliant hold up play, brilliant decision.
Marino!
Brilliant decision
Very
making.
underrated over the two
Bro,
legs.
two assists.
That goal in the first leg.
Martinelli as well, big up you.
Striker goal, that.
Yeah.
Striker
First
goal,
leg.
proper
That's it,
striker
you know what I
goal.
mean? So yeah, well done, guys. Well done, Arsenal. Because of you guys.
On to the next
Because of
leg.
Arsenal, they'll now be a new Champions League winner. They'll now be a new champion of Europe.
Yeah, facts. Arsenal.
Arsenal
about to get our first trophy, man.
And now what?
Because of Arsenal, they will now be a new European champion.
Like it's not going to be a
They've knocked out the holder.
It's not going to be Real Madrid again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Arsenal, we're going to get our first UCL title, inshallah, I believe.
Inshallah,
PSG. And then we're going to take it to Roma. We're going to take Barcelona in the final.
Talking about PSG.
Villa PSG at Villa Park Stadium.
Yeah. What was aggregate was?
It was 5-4. 5-4.
Yeah, 5-4.
5-4. Yeah. Probably the best tie over both legs.
Yeah. So far after tournament, low key as well.
The best watch
over both legs.
I would say.
PSG opened it with 2 goals, and then Villa scored 3, but should have probably scored a 4th.
Could have scored.
Asensio could have and should have scored.
They had a lot more chances than PSG, but what do you guys think? I'm impressed with Villa. I think they've done a lot better than a lot of people would have expected. I thought this tie would have been
over with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think especially after the first 2 goals, so PSG made it 5-1 on aggregate from
Which is
the
crazy.
2 fullbacks, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. I thought it was done and dusted.
Yeah.
But then Villa kept pressing. Even though both their goals were deflections, Tielemans and John McGinn, they deserved them goals.
100%.
I thought they kept pressing and didn't stop. And then the player of the match for me, Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And he is used to playing well against PSG.
He does love a game against PSG.
He does love a game against PSG. And then he was in complete flow state. He had a brilliant shot saved by Donnarumma. What a save, by the way, which led to the corner in which he done something absolutely magical.
What was like
mega out of nowhere, and then scoop left, cross it back right for Ezri Konsa.
Put it on the plate for him.
Yeah, and then Emery said, "Oh, what a game he's having! I'm going to take him off." You know when that happened,
he's bugging out.
all momentum shifted. PSG started getting more of the ball, and I was absolutely baffling the decision. It's like Emery wanted to protect his whole team. It's like he wanted PSG to go through. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, Rashford is having the game of his season right now. And you take him off when he's literally in flow state, playing incredible football. I didn't understand it. I thought he should have played Watkins with Rashford. They could combine well.
Just go all out.
Just go all out, man. Put Asensio on the right. Put Rodgers in the 10, even though Rodgers wasn't great. But yeah, I didn't understand it. And then, they scored the 3rd goal anyway from Konsa. And after that, I felt like it wasn't the same.
Yeah. There was a period where it was
like... Tielemans had a header, Donnarumma saved it, but it wasn't...
Yeah, like
the same momentum.
Like you said, Rashford just...
Cooking.
Second half.
Cooking.
First half, it wasn't great. Second half, something switched and we went back to,
First half, it wasn't even bad, though. First half, he was still decent.
I think he was okay.
And the second half, he just...
I wasn't impressed with him first half.
Different level, yeah.
First half was okay. Second half, he turned it up, man. He definitely turned it up. Something switched, then he just went mad. Like you said, I don't know why Emery took him off. He wasn't...
Couldn't believe it.
That was a shocking substitution.
Couldn't believe it.
That didn't make any sense.
But Villa Park, rocking.
But that's what I said in a preview. I was saying it was better if Villa had their home game first. Because then they would have at least...
I don't know. You can look at
it. I don't think that changes anything.
No,
they almost came back. If you look at it like that, they literally almost came back.
No, but I think it's different though. Like if they would have had something to defend. Instead, Villa being on the offensive.
That's assuming they win first leg.
So I think they would have. I'll be honest. Going to the park is not easy.
I think PSG have too much star quality to not go through. We've seen Desiree do it in the first game. That goal, Kvaratskhelia. Like they have so many good attackers. Like they could cause anyone. They're going to score goals against anyone. Yeah. So Villa's thing was to outscore them. Yeah. And when it comes to star quality, PSG just have more. They're a better team overall. They've got better defense, better midfield. So I think they are the rightful winners at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. PSG, these lot on a counter attack. Yeah, I don't think I've seen something so devastating in a long time.
Yeah,
I mean
that team just flows.
Flow state every time though.
It's just
like
any time
they all interchange.
The attack is so fluid.
You see Dembele left, Barcola right, Kvaratskhelia up top. They see Dembele up top. They all switch around and they're all as good in each position.
Fluid though. Yeah. That's everything we thought Real Madrid would have been.
Yeah, literally literally that front three, PSG front three is what Real Madrid should aspire to be.
But you know what the difference is?
Yeah.
How hard they work off the ball. That's the difference.
It's ego at the end of the day.
Yeah. So like with this, you obviously had Mbappe, he was there last season. It's crazy how the momentum shifts. Yeah. Mbappe leaves PSG, goes to Real Madrid who won the Champions League, and PSG struggling to even reach the final.
Yeah.
And now PSG are looking like the team that are gonna go to the final and might end up winning it as well. So is Mbappe the problem? Maybe.
Who knows?
Everywhere he goes.
I think managers they try to fit him in no matter what.
I said though Mbappe wasn't needed for Real Madrid. I think they would have been much better going for a striker.
Yeah, definitely.
Like going for an out and out striker.
100%.
Like he's going into teams that are already made. Mbappe's more so a player you build a team around. You don't put him into a team that's already made.
Like let's say they didn't have Vinny. Let's say that.
Okay,
then you get Mbappe. But anyways,
and he left PSG.
And now
look how fluid they are. They got so many good players.
You have Ousmane Dembele playing his best football of his career.
Yeah, he's flying.
Crazy.
The emergence this year of Desiree Doué.
Oh,
With me and one of my fellow friends have been
Barcola.
on for a long time. Bradley Barcola, one of my good mates. Fantastic player.
yeah, good top
Major.
player.
No,
Kavara, who they bought in January.
My
by the way.
stock,
What
by the way.
signing?
Kvaratskhelia.
What signing?
You know, I was there when he was at Victoria Pilsen. Sorry,
Why
Ruben
are you
Kazan.
lying?
He was at Ruben Kazan.
Why are you lying?
He's right.
Wallahi, time ago, me and Jam were walking. In Wallahi, like near your house, I won't say where. And I go to him. Wallahi, I go to him. Do you know Kvaratskhelia? And he was
Is this just before he signed for Napoli?
before Napoli.
He's taking advantage of my bad memory.
Yeah,
I don't remember that, bro.
come on, man.
And then he goes to me. I don't know who. I go to keep an eye on him. Wallahi, I go to keep an eye on him. Wallahi.
You do this though. You do this.
Kvaratskhelia. But listen, what a
January,
player.
I think
That's
I-
my stock.
You're saying you're
Now I'm rich. Now I'm breaded up. Desiree Doué, not quite there, but I'm still there early. Bradley Barcola, Leon.
I think this PSG team has everything it takes to win. Their midfield is a joke.
Oh, can we talk about Vitinha?
No, Vitinha and João Neves.
You know,
the way
I've never seen Vitinha lose the ball.
No, but he's so comfy.
He's
so comfy.
secure. But I said, you know, when we watched the game in Portugal, we watched them live.
Yeah. Wow.
I said to you, like, I said, this guy's too
Ronaldo-
cold in
Ronaldo-
real life, bro.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ronaldo scored 9
Yeah,
goals.
okay, it's not about
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
let's go, let's go. I said to you, like, in real life, bro, this guy is so... like, I didn't realize how good he was until I saw him in real life. And since then, bro, he's been...
But he's getting pressed by 4 Villa players. He's dribbling and shooting. And thinks it over them.
comfy.
He's genuinely
No, he
world
plays
class.
football
He's
at
so
his own
good.
pace.
At his own
Yeah,
pace.
yeah, yeah. You're not going to rush him.
You
to
can't
do
rush
anything.
him. You can't rush
He's going
him.
to do what he
He
wants.
can take as many touches as he wants, turn as many times as he wants, turn out,
And
turn
he always
in,
find a pass.
short, long, and he never loses it.
He's a joke. And he's what, like 5 foot what? 5 foot
The game's his.
game's
and he's
his,
accompanied by a workhorse, João
Neves.
who is so good at pressing, doesn't get tired. Bro, the midfield is literally top. And Fabian Ruiz is like more of a calming presence.
More like
keeps it ticking.
yeah, like
Scans well.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as good as those two.
yeah.
But he showed in the Euros how good he can be. And he just keeps it.
That's when he was more attacking,
Keeps it
though.
ticking. You know what I mean?
But I think in general though, this team is so complete. Even in fullbacks. The
I love
fullbacks got 2 of the goals.
attacking fullbacks, man.
Bro,
Love
what?
to see it.
I don't see no inverting.
Yeah.
2 guys who
See
bomb
football's
forward
coming back.
and support the wingers.
Proper football.
You know what I mean? That's what happens when you support the wingers and you support the attack. You trust the defenders to actually defend and to midfielders to midfield and not to invert. Then you're gonna get far and they just bomb forward and they scored both the goals because they're always high up the pitch and they're always a threat. An extra
what's-
body in the final third.
What's scary about PSG is that they can play both sides. They can play the counter-attacking football and they
And they
can
can
play
dominate
the
the ball.
possession football
Yeah.
where they'll still make chances.
Yes, yeah.
Against Liverpool, they were the team that had the ball and had Liverpool on the back
dominating.
foot, dominating them at Anfield as well. And then
And then when Liverpool had the ball, they're always a threat of the counter attack.
so it's like
Or the pace
whatever
they have.
game you want to play, they can go there with you.
Yeah,
And it's scary. I've never okay, I won't say that. That's a bit crazy, but I think
you
this
say?
PSG. I won't say it. This PSG team, yeah. The way they can just go from 0 to 100 from one side of the pitch to the other
Scary.
and just get a chance, and the attackers are making the right decisions. Decision making. That's the biggest thing in football. Decision making, and they're always making
they're all
the right
young.
one,
They're all
and
still young, by the way. And they're making
Wow,
right decisions.
scary. Absolutely scary.
Definitely a scary.
But props to Aston Villa, man. I do think they put up a very good fight. I
Yeah.
thought they deserve it. Quarter-finalists of the Champions League.
Yeah.
And maybe on another day they get to the semi-finals, which would have been nuts.
Would have been
Aston Villa
a
semi-finals.
major upset.
Thank God, I'll be honest, I didn't want to...
I think both teams beat you anyways.
I think we've already pumped PSG.
PSG
at the
beat you
start
anyway,
of
so it's
the
fine.
Champions League.
I think PSG
We'll
will
see,
be.
we'll get there. Be there in May, I think. What's the...
Be there, what?
In May, semi-finals in May.
Be
right?
there, me. Okay.
Semi-finals are actually at the end of April, man.
Is it?
Yeah, so you don't know who your team's playing.
Popped them even sooner.
So what game?
Second leg in May.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about. That's
So
what
let's
it
move
was.
on to the team that I think is going to win the Champions League.
You think so? My team.
You want to talk about
Barcelona.
Arsenal?
Don't try that.
Wait,
Barcelona.
can I take this off without talking about that? Because it's a bit nuts.
No, so he's
No, he's
so
doing-
right there.
he's doing.
So moving on to the team that I think is going to win the Champions League. And guys, if you haven't noticed, if you go back 10 seconds in the video, this man here was wearing this shirt. But because he's a glory hunter,
No.
and one
No,
team's
it's
out,
water.
and one team's
Let me
out,
explain
and one
myself.
team's still in it,
Let me explain myself.
he changed shirts mid-video, mid-episode,
Let me explain
so
myself.
we can glory hunt
Let me explain
and
myself.
glaze Barcelona.
Let me explain myself.
So just to point it out, if you
Let me
haven't
explain
noticed
So
myself.
you
already.
lot know.
The reason why I had that shirt on was for hate watching purposes. I did not want Arsenal to go through, so I put it on supporting Real Madrid. But my team, Visca Barca, this is my team, and I was repping them in the preview as well. And this is the team that's gonna go to I think PSG Barcelona final. That's what I'm calling.
Oh, so you've never ever said the second team till now. But anyway, the glory hunter.
My second team. Shout out Lamine Yamal.
Anyway, yeah. So Barcelona beat Dortmund in the quarterfinals. What was aggregate in that game? Scored three.
Let me have a look.
Three. You know what I mean?
It was
They
5-3.
won. 5-3.
Yeah.
Because 4-0 first leg and
With
and a
Girassi
3-1.
scoring a
4-0
hat-trick.
free. Yes. He's right now top scorer of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yes, 13 goals. No, but Barca this game weren't good. It's just like
They were on
in the 3-1 game.
they were playing fourth gear.
Second gear.
Fourth gear.
Oh, sorry. Lower than that. Yeah, they were really
fourth
bad.
gear. They weren't really trying to, because the first game, they won
4-0.
4-0. They knew they were going through.
That's a game where Rafinha robbed Kouassi's goal, right? Kouassi headed the ball and Rafinha robbed it. Hungry for the Ballon d'Or, Rafinha. But when it comes to actually a tough game in a tough stadium, he doesn't want to turn up.
What's that tough game?
Not my Ballon d'Or.
What's that tough game? Tough stadium.
Earlier in the Signal Iduna Park
In against BVB.
against Dortmund. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. But they didn't need to turn up. To be fair, they just needed to cope.
but Barca played really bad.
No, I watched the game.
They weren't good.
I watched the game. My team, we knew we were going through, so we just had to keep composed.
This is very strange.
Just what?
Keep composed. Wallahi, it was quite shaky.
No. I'm telling you what we were doing. Okay, we weren't great, but we also knew that we had a lead to play to play off. So we didn't really need to do much. We let Dortmund have the ball for most of the game. Barcelona through to the semi-finals against Inter Milan.
Oh, Bayern Munich, sorry.
And this is the team that I think is going to go through to the final and play PSG. That's what I'll say. Barcelona.
Oh.
Not much to say in the Barca
Barcelona
game. I think Barca are much superior side to Dortmund, who started the season off really
that was
poorly.
a mismatch.
Yeah, and then they made quite a good fight out of it actually. Second leg,
Definitely.
you know,
They did.
And Barca was
Kouassi scored the
scrapping a
dick.
little bit.
Yeah, they definitely made it a bit unnervy for.
Nervy. Yeah. Kouassi's
Barca.
think on a pen. You know what I mean? But yeah, Barca
At the stage-
4-0 like killed off straight away.
But even
They're
when
not going to lose that
scored-
lead.
When they scored the third goal, it was still like late in the game, so it wasn't really at any moment in time that I
Barca
think
were gonna go out.
We're gonna go out.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that sort of game. It was more so Dortmund playing for some pride, I guess, make something of the game. Also, Barcelona scoring a goal kind of killed the game off, anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe if they didn't score a goal, it would have been a lot closer. One goal in the game.
It was an own goal, wasn't it?
It was an own goal, yeah. One goal in the game, and then it would have been a lot tighter. But then, like I said, Barcelona were there to just kind of see out the game. They did exactly that. Should have done a lot more probably in the game.
Yeah, they weren't good in that game.
Yeah, they weren't good.
4-0 first leg was enough.
But also,
You know?
Dortmund were pretty good in that game as well. Anyways,
Yeah, they were.
Dortmund were pretty good. They done a lot to unnerve Barcelona, made the game hard for them. But then in general,
Because I feel like they played with no pressure. They lost 4-0 first
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah,
it couldn't
They
really
kind
get
of
worse.
knew,
Yeah.
the pressure was really on them to win.
Yeah.
So they went out there, done whatever they can, made a bit of a fight of it. Got knocked out with one of their players as top goal scorer currently. So
Barcelona
That's a sign.
having a season to remember as well. They're in the Copa del Rey final. They're leading in the La Liga currently,
Yeah,
and
so
they're
they
in the
might win the trouble.
semi-finals of the Champions League.
Hansi Flick is doing a very, very good job with the couple
Very,
players we
very
have.
good season.
Don't get into it too much. We know who they have.
And hopefully, no, I mean,
So
I'll keep that thought for
Who
another
do you
time.
guys think the favourites of the Champions League is?
Between
Who do
Barca
you
or
think the
PSG?
front runners are?
Barca or PSG?
Barcelona, PSG.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you favour Barcelona. And for you,
My favourite is Barcelona, but I want PSG to win it.
you want PSG to win it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, like neutrals, would want PSG to win it. I think,
Yeah,
but even though PSG have not won it before,
that's why I think.
but it's a lot more likable team, a lot more likable squad, because this squad
A lot more likable players.
It's not. It's
Players
not
who
money.
are nice to watch.
It's not a money team. This really, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
so.
it's more of an exciting young team who are very good to
team,
watch.
fun to watch.
Exactly.
Fun to watch.
That's why I think
everything.
neutrals in this case, I
Yeah.
think they would want PSG to win it.
But don't
over
rule out
Barcelona.
Inter Milan, who have been to the final before.
which we'll get onto them.
And just knocked out Bayern Munich
Yep.
on aggregate 4-3. 4-3? Make sure?
4-3.
4-3. Martinez, 2 goals, 1 goal in each tie. And he's top. I think last season, he didn't finish last year in the top 10 Ballon d'Or. I think he finished just outside it. But when he won the Copa America, and he was the best player in the Copa America for Argentina.
Yeah.
Genuinely, he was. The other guy was there. He always gets, the favourite more. The other guy, the short guy.
I mean,
Yeah,
he was still good though as well.
Yeah, no, Martinez was better.
still good.
And he won the Serie A.
Yeah.
Got to, played very well. But no, just he doesn't. I think he doesn't get enough credit.
his rep is not really out.
I
there.
don't know why.
No, it's not.
He's Inter Milan
I feel
captain.
like he's on and off though. I don't think
He's brilliant. He literally bags every single season.
Sometimes I watch him, he's not great.
I think he's a very good player. I think that World Cup, stint he had when he wasn't amazing.
Was far from great.
I think his rep is not as high.
He ruined his rep, but he's a brilliant striker.
I think his rep is kind of low because people see him as a second striker.
I don't know what that means though.
Because he
Why though?
kind of needs someone with him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he plays in a 2-man up top with Lukaku, with Thuram, whoever it may
Thuram,
be.
yeah.
But he that doesn't take away what he's been doing.
No, but that's why I think, because it's a lot more difficult playing as a lone striker, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's why I think his rep is but I still
high.
think he's impressive, though.
He's a very, very good player.
Impressive. He scored in the first leg as well, didn't
Yeah, or the Trivella from France Bacchio. What a lovely
was
goal.
a silly goal.
What a goal.
What a player.
That was a silly
And he scored today, a bit more simple finish.
Yeah.
Bayern were actually making a fight of it. Harry Kane, what a goal.
Yeah.
In the corner. Bomb corner.
But I said Inter Milan would go through though. I did say it.
Yeah. I mean, Bayern almost came back, but I also thought Inter Milan would go through. I do think they're a better team. I think
They're
they're
a lot
better
more balanced. And defensively, they're very good as well.
and they've been here before recently as well. So they know what
they
they're
were
doing.
literally in the final
It'll
like, what, 2
be a
years
tough game
ago?
for Barcelona. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a tough game for Barcelona.
Yeah.
I favour Barcelona.
They will score 4 goals first. Like I can tell you that for sure. Inter are much better defensively than Dortmund.
I don't know. It's going to be a lot closer game.
It might be much closer.
Definitely.
Is it a disappointing season for Bayern Munich again, not being able to go into the latter stages of the Champions League? When's the last time they were in a
semi-final? Last year against
got to the
Vinicius.
quarters,
So
isn't it?
Against who?
last year against Real
They got
Madrid.
this out in the quarters, isn't it? So they got to
Yeah,
the
okay, yeah.
And they lost against Real Madrid last season.
But with Bayern Munich though, they're not really seen as
their squad's not good enough. I'll be honest with you.
But
Far from good enough.
the squad's not good enough, but also they are dealing with injuries as well. But in general, over the years, I think Bayern Munich's stature in the Champions League has kind of lessened. They're not really
Since they've won it in 2020 against PSG in the final, they've been in the semi. They haven't been doing really.
But
badly.
even then, it was more so. It was a freak season, man. Hansi Flick was going nuts that season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
But even like from like 2013 when they beat Dortmund,
Yeah. They went in trouble in 2020.
to now. So it's like they do get like Champions League wins. I'm not saying they're not
certified
but
Champions League team.
I'm saying the rep as in how much they're feared, how teams come up against them, and also like just people saying that they're favourites. Yeah, it's not as much now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember once upon a time when they had like the Frank Ribery's and the Robins and the Schweinsteigers and the Cruz and whatnot, they were a lot more feared and the people would put them as favourites. But now it's like the rep has kind of decreased over the years.
The wingers are kind of Asian. They got Sane, Gnabry, who aren't the same players anymore.
They've got Kane, who's
Harry Kane is top scorer.
He's not doing amazing.
Champions League joint top goal scorer and he's top scorer in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is always going to be Harry Kane, but the wingers aren't great. They got Musiala. I think in the summer if they recruit properly, then they still got Elise. They have a couple wingers.
They have Musiala, they have Elise, they have Kane.
Yeah,
right, that's a good core.
Play around them. Oh, recruit around them. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Kimmich captain.
They got Kimmich. They got
Neuer's kind of
Pavlovic.
agent. They do need the keeper.
Maybe their defensive line they need to improve a little bit.
Yeah, defensive line they got to improve as well.
Line and their keeper.
Bayern is going to be Bayern anyway at the end of the day. But I do think
they crashed out.
Inter a better team. They're through.
Inter a better team, and I did think they were going to go through it over the 2 legs anyways. But we got Barca versus Inter Milan in the semi-finals. And we have Arsenal versus PSG in the other semi-final game. I'm going to give early predictions. It's going to be
PSG Barcelona final.
Yeah.
PSG going to win in the final. PSG to win the Champions League. I just changed my mind.
Let's not listen to him because he said PSG Real Madrid semi-finals, so he was wrong the first time.
That's not bad though.
But he was wrong.
It's not crazy.
Yeah, because I thought they beat you guys. So
I got. To be fair though, I got 3 out of 4.
Everyone was
I got 3 out of 4.
I wasn't wrong.
I got 3 out of 4.
Huh?
I wasn't wrong.
I got 3 out of 4 too.
I got 3 out of 4.
You said Bayern to go through, then you changed your mind.
Yeah, you did change.
Because I was listening. I forgot they had all the injuries that they had.
Or you never had the Scooby.
So
And you guessed.
I'm 4 for 4. I'm 4 for 4 right now, and I'm in the semi-finals.
And the Arsenal one was pure bias though, innit? Like your team. You're not gonna say you're gonna lose.
I believed in my team, bro.
I don't think you did.
I believed in my team. I was scared, but I believed in my team. It was a bit of fake confidence, but I believed in the team, man.
We'll be back though for a preview. Don't worry against PSG.
We're gonna be back.
PSG smoky at the Parc des
Oh, what's Somali that is? That's not French. Parc des Princes. Oh my god.
Listen, Arsenal versus Barcelona in Munich in the finals.
Yeah, man.
Champions League.
Don't try that ever again.
We'll be there.
We'll be back for a preview of the
Real Madrid
semi-final of the
hold
Champions
that.
League.
5-1.
Congrats, Arsenal.
Thank you very
Don't shake my
much.
hand ever again. I shook hand earlier, so why shaking my hand again? I do this to you every episode. And you know
the rules.
Who really lost though?
the rules. I shook your hand earlier, so I can't do it twice.
Semi-finals, bro. He's baking off in Europa League.
Yeah,
Man. You got
okay.
Onana as your goalkeeper out, man.
Lamine
Why
Yamal
not?
for Ballon d'Or.
You sharp.
Yeah, you,
But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning
Thank for tuning in,
to the
man.
review of the Champions League. Like, comment, subscribe.
The
Don't forget.
unsuccessful hate watch, unfortunately.
Yeah.
and do that on the belt.
But we'll be back for part 2 hate watch.
Yes.
And you
Against
feel
PSG.
again.
Oui, oui.
Non. Au revoir.
Au revoir.